Hi everyone, it's Anya, and today I'm doing a non-spoilery review for A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab. So, a quick summary of the book. This story follows a magician by the name of Kel who lives in this world called Red London, and he is able to travel from one dimension to the other and visit different versions of this city called London. And so there's Red London, which is where he's from, Grey London, which is our world, I think, and White London, which is a more dangerous version of the three. He acts as a messenger to all the royalty from these three realms because he is one of the few people who can actually travel. The story kind of picks up when he accidentally travels from one London to the other, carrying a forbidden item, so to speak, and, all hell breaks loose. That, I think, is the nicest way for me to put the summary without actually giving too much away, because there's a lot going on and I do not know what's considered a spoiler and what's not. So I give this book a 3.23 stars out of 5, mainly because I was thoroughly confused for about 60% of the book, which I think is a long time for me to just be wondering what exactly is going on. It's a rather simple plot, but it's the worlds that kind of pack on a lot more dimensionality to the story that made it very confusing and hard to follow. And the book, as you can see by the black lines, can you see them? There we go. As you can see by the black lines, is divided into sections, which actually helped for me. It did also make the book a little choppy. Not in the sense that there was no continuity between the chapters, but just that, it looked like you were taking really slow blinks between looking at something, if that makes sense. Chapters definitely kind of helped to make sense of things, but it again broke up the narrative a little too much for me. And I also really liked that despite the fact that he travels so much, it's still stagnant because of the name. Like, the word London kind of scales down the world to this one place, even though it was actually 3-4 places in one. And that kind of helped stabilize what was going on for me because, like I said, it was so confusing. Sometimes the stagnation kind of makes the book a little boring, but I think it grounded it for me. And there's one line in the book where he mentions that despite the fact that he travels between dimensions, he hasn't really left the city of London, and I think that reflects the book a lot. I liked that it was kind of stagnant. Another character in the book, Lila, or Lila, however you choose to pronounce it, her name is Delilah, so I think it's Lila. She's actually kind of a fascinating character. I don't want to go too much into her because that's, again, a spoiler, but I found it rather annoying that, she's this, stoic female character. I don't think that it's necessary to make women hard-edged and, poker-faced just to make them look badass. I think a character wearing their heart on their sleeve is not necessarily a bad thing in terms of how much they've endured. I think it's a little more reflective of the fact that they can shoulder more pain, but it's interesting enough. I do like how her backstory, which is revealed throughout the book, plays into why she's such a hard-edged person. But again, like I said, I don't think that her experiences necessarily lead to a person being vitriolic all the time. Another thing that I really appreciated was the monarchy in Red London was people of color. They're all brown, and I really liked that. Of course, this book could do with a little more diversity in the background and maybe main characters, but I definitely appreciated the fact that we have people in power who are brown. That's, I don't think, something that you see normally. Servants sometimes are brown, side characters sometimes are brown, but you don't always see, royalty, benevolent royalty that are people of color, and I like that a lot. And of course, this is the first book in a series, so I'm not really placing too much blame on that. There's more opportunity for that to grow in the next 2 books, which hopefully it does. The effort to include diversity is clearly there, so I'm not pointing fingers right now. Another thing that I definitely liked was the fact that the romance in this book was close to 0. It's there, but it's so small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things that it basically wasn't there, and I'm loving that. Victoria Schwab's other book, This Savage Song, actually has no romance which I am living for, and I think that might be a thing with her books, and I really hope it's true because I love it. I'm so tired of reading romances and fantasy novels, and I think that's a great asset to this book because I was so thoroughly confused. I feel like a romance plot would have like detracted my attention from something that I already couldn't focus on. So that was like a great part of this book, and I'm happy that it was basically nothing. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. Towards the end of things kind of, like consolidated and started to make sense, but again, too long. I hope it's a little bit faster paced in the second book. This might just be a lot of world building built into this novel, which is probably why it was slow. The book does end on kind of a whole note, so to speak. It ends, like, everything is nicely wrapped up in terms of the conflict that occurs in this book. No cliffhangers. Thank God, so tired of those. But there were, like, sort of loose ends where I was questioning why certain things happened, and not that things were left unanswered, but there were questions that could dig deeper into that, which I think is what the other books are going to explore, and I'm kind of excited about that, like, different narrative aspect of these books. Yeah, that's all I have for my review on A Darker Shade of Magic. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it motivates you to actually read the book. It might be a little scathing review, but I think the book has the heart to continue in the right direction. So do read it if you thought this was helpful. Give this video a like if you genuinely liked it. If you have suggestions for more videos I can make this month, do leave them down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!